man, I've said this before, it sounds kind of stupid, but nobody sings Adele like Angelina. Angelina, uh, Angelina just puts in the secret sauce, baby. So let us watch this. This is so, I've seen this before, it's so beautiful though. I just gotta watch it again. With you guys, okay? Let's watch. Take me by the way, what will you do? It matters how you say. It's what if I never love again?
what if I never love again? It's the night with you. Oh, but I got more than just a friend. Give me the Mary I can use. Take me by the wild wind. It matters how it's is what if I never love again? I need your honesty. It's already in your eye. Into my eyes that speak of me. No one knows that I can do. Is this you the only one that matters? Tell me who don't want to. So, yeah. Don't give me a problem, no. There is no tomorrow. Oh, I ask and this is my last night with you. Oh, me like I'm more than just a friend. Give me a Mary I can use. Take me by the wild wind. It's what if I never love again?
Okay, I should comment. See, so that's, I guess that's my job, right? Commenting. All I've been doing is watching a video with you guys so far, and that's because it's so beautiful. I don't want to interrupt it. And I don't want to interject anything that I can't. How could I possibly say anything that's going to add to this? That's a challenge in itself. But I will say a couple of things. First of all, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is a song by Adele, All I Ask. So it's a cover of an Adele song. And Adele, now, since discovering Angelina, now I have also discovered so many other artists that I didn't even know much about, like Adele. I didn't know, and Adele is a worldwide phenom, I guess, if you will. Millions of views on all of her songs, and I guess she's won awards and been there and done that, right? And she just recently was away from music for 5 or 6, 7 years, something like that. Came back with a song, and right away, it's got like 1 billion views, right? So, and you listen to the song, it's a beautiful song. She has a beautiful voice. It's all good. But when Angelina sings it, she brings something different, something a little extra, which every person that covers anybody's song has their own thing. I don't think there's very many people out there that try to do an exact duplicate of an original. There may be people out there to do that, but I think it's you have to put your own style on it. If you want to practice something, I suppose you could copy somebody, and especially if they're really good and try to be as good as they are, and then play it back and say, how do I sound? But to put something out to the public, I think you got to have a unique proposition, if you will, or USP. They used to call it unique selling proposition. you have to have something to differentiate yourself from the original, so that people uh, can see, have some interest in what you're doing, right? I guess that's one way of looking at it. I'm no expert, but that's what I think. So what Angelina does, though, she's got the special sauce, I call it. Sometimes I call it other things. Like she is music, according to the Norway judge, and I agree. Like I said, I don't know anything, but she she seems to be music. Everything she does, she's singing, she's playing with the piano, the guitar. She's walking in a parking garage. It doesn't matter. Angelina's singing, okay? And she said singing is like breathing to her. I believe it. And you know, most people would say that you would just think, you know, baloney, right? No, I don't think there's any baloney in that statement, to be honest with you. Baloney. Okay, make sure I say that right. Baloney. You know, guys all know what baloney is, right? So, um, it's just beautiful, man. Said it before, I'll say it again. Adele has a beautiful voice. She sings this song. It's fantastic. Doesn't bring me to tears. I don't know why. Angelina sings it, and I start to get tears in my eyes almost from the first note, because she has this way of connecting to my soul and many others, not just me. And I think a lot of it's just that Angelina always has a message of love and kindness, and I think she exudes that. And many people, including myself, would say she is love. She's like a pure human characterization, or not a characterization, but a vessel maybe of love, where she loves everybody and everything. It's not just, she loves music, she loves her audience, but she pretty much loves everything and everybody in it, you know? So, how many people can really say that and convince you just by watching her that it's true? Not many, I don't think. You know, the story with the shoes and all the other things, you know, those just are little moments in time that demonstrate her extraordinary love and kindness in a way that you're not going to hear that kind of a story very often, like never. So, I mean, people give stuff, don't get me wrong. A lot of people are very charitable. I'm not saying that doesn't occur. Sure it does. Okay. But at 6 years old, taking your shoes off and giving them to somebody who don't have shoes. I don't know about it in Norway, but I know in the United States, man, getting a kid to give up anything that they have that's a challenge. And to take the shoes off your feet and give it to this little girl on the street, yeah, right. That you don't see that happen every day, like never. So, you know, the whole thing, her whole nature, her whole being, her character, her person, her family, everything about her story is so special. Now, we all have our own story. Everybody has a unique story, okay? They're all special. But this one, you know, I think Angelina has an opportunity. Well, actually, I don't. I think Angelina was born to be a beacon of hope for humanity. I started this little rant because I was saying that Adele has a beautiful voice and she's a beautiful singer. Before I listened to Angelina, if you just said Adele and asked me what does that mean to you, I would have said nothing. I don't know, what's that? What's an Adele? Is that a thing, a person, a place? I don't even know. You know, I didn't know who Adele was. I had pretty much given up on all music, to be honest. There's a lot of great singers out there, but you know, there's no soul, there's no character, there's no depth. It's just, you know, I come from the era where they didn't have auto-tune and all this enhancements in the music. They played a guitar, they had a band with a drummer and a piano player or whatever. I mean, I come from an era before there was even like electronic keyboards or anything. It's just, you had to have a piano if you wanted that sound, or an organ or whatever. And most bands didn't have that kind of stuff. They had a guitarist, maybe a bass guitarist, maybe, and a drummer, and one or two of the guys in the band, people in the band, could be ladies too, girls, could sing. Maybe all of them could sing a little bit, but then you had the lead guy out front being the front man front person nowadays, and I come from that era, and it was all raw. There it was. Okay, you saw it, you heard it, and it was real, and everything was real, and there was no electronic anything on it. Now, as times progress, you know, with electricity and these modern conveniences start to arrive on the scene with different types of equipment and so on. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of it, but when we got up into this later, you know, after the, I'm going to say after we passed the 70s probably, starting in the 80s, and I think then in the 90s, I think the whole 90s was, musically was kind of, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of great stuff in there, but for me it was a little bit flat. It was all kind of, basically you turn on any radio station, it all sounded pretty much the same. The only thing you could differentiate country from the rest of them, and that was about it. And the country, just because it has its own sound, basically, for a lot of the country singers. But nowadays, even country and pop, I think, sound an awful lot alike, and they are kind of alike. But I had lost my interest really in music for probably a couple of decades at least. And then when I tried to start listening to music again, because I love to listen to music. I like to have music on the background when I'm doing things and so on. But I was listening to it, I said, you know, this doesn't do anything for me. It's all sounds the same. There's no message that I particularly care to be listening to. And then we won't even get into some of the other stuff. But it's when Angelina sings, the first song I ever saw of Angelina was I Put a Spell on You, 9 years old, black and white YouTube video. I was searching YouTube, it was about 6 years ago. For some reason that caught my eye. I don't know why. I wasn't looking for YouTube videos or Angelina. I didn't know who she was. I wasn't looking for I Put a Spell on You. I know the song. I know the original song. That's one of the most crazy, bizarre videos you'll ever see. And I'm looking at the picture thinking, it just caught my eye. I said, that little girl's going to sing that song? Because that song is wild, man, the original version. And I was thinking, there's no way that little girl can sing that song. Was she going to sing it like Twinkle Twinkle? You know, I didn't know, right? So I played it, and I've told this story. I know a lot of you have heard this before, but it's true. After that, I was compelled by listening to that version of that song by that 9-year-old Norwegian girl. I was compelled to do a deep introspective dive into myself. It took a little while. It started right after I listened to the song about 20 times in a row. And I just couldn't fathom how that little girl had that much soul and could touch me, not just with amazement, but with, I mean, I was crying because it's like unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is a miracle, you know, basically is what you know. I mean, I'm not a particularly religious fella, really. I'm on an exploration journey, let's put it that way. And I thought I knew what I believed in before I listened to that 9-year-old girl sing that song. And then I had to go deep dive, and I had to say, listen, do I believe in reincarnation? She has so much of Screamin' Jay Hawkins that she brings out in her singing and her performance. It's like, there's no way, no possible way. So you've seen all the reactors, and that's how I got interested in watching YouTube reactors and all that. Their reaction to the song, you know, is varied, but it's all pretty much astonishment, surprise, can't believe it, can't be real, all those things, you know. So I liked watching all that. I still go back and watch them today. Unfortunately, a lot of them today seem a little bit more. Some of them seem like they're more of a choreographed thing, which I prefer authenticity if I can find it. So the and then after I pondered that for some time and thought deeply about it, I had to go and look at my life, because I thought this little girl has the ability, the natural just part of who she is, to take that song and do that with it and merge, if you will, somehow with the spirit of Screaming Jay Hawkins. And on top of that, it dawned on me that she's paying respect to the original artist. Who does that? Most people don't do that. They just take the song and change it a little bit and it's their song now, right? She didn't do that. There's, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a lot of Screaming Jay Hawkins that's in that song. But then there's a lot that's Angelina too that she did, you know, maybe part of it was just her abilities at that 9-year-old tender age, right? But what she did was extraordinary. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I say that video, probably because it touched me so much, but that entire video from the very start to the very end is a masterpiece. I wouldn't change not one thing in that thing. If they gave me a pen and a paper and said, write down what you want to change, nothing. I don't want to change anything. Don't touch it. Matter of fact, put a shield around it. I don't want that touched, okay? Me personally, I just think it's a masterpiece at that age. And according to what I understand, she rearranged the song to a certain degree and changed a few things. And I did a mashup with Screaming. Was it a mashup, or I think I did Angelina singing it, then Screaming Jay Hawkins singing it separately, but they were maybe in the same video. But I didn't want to mash it up because I don't want to. It's sacrilegious, I think, to monkey around with Angelina's version. I guess you could look at a Screaming Jay Hawkins version too, but that was a crazy video, man. So anyway, I don't know how I got this big long rant. I think what it was Adele is a great singer, doesn't touch my soul. Angelina has extra stuff that does touch my soul. Pretty much every song. If it's not a song that's a soul-touching type song, like a love song or a relationship song or whatever it might be, about loss or whatever, if it's not one of those kind of songs that would normally touch your soul, she touches my soul because she has such an amazing gift. It's unbelievable, really. And I do believe that if she's given a global platform at some point in time, which she just kind of had in Paris, up to a small degree, if she gets a global platform like she wants to have, she wants to sing for the whole world. If she can touch enough people, I think she can make a big difference in the world, and maybe enough that the world takes a step forward and up in our evolutionary path, if you will, to go from a warring, hate-filled, violence-filled, conflict-filled world. Because the world's full of conflict. We just don't always see it where we are. In the United States, we're lucky in a lot of ways, but we have violence all around us, just on a smaller localized scale for the most part. We don't have war, but we have other things. Sorry, I had to wrestle my dog there for a minute. Elroy wants to get up in the chair with me, and he's got sharp claws, and he's really heavy. And I do love him, and I do let him up in the chair with me sometimes, which is probably a mistake, but not while I'm doing videos. See, when I'm talking to the camera, they think that there's something going on. They got to get involved. And both dogs, they're both here, right next to me. But Elroy's a load, man. He's got to be 100 pounds now. I think he was 60 when I got him. So, it's incredible. I know this is a long rant. Most of you probably aren't even here, and I'm talking to myself. That's fine. I just feel like I have to say things because, everybody's journey is personal. But I think so many of us have had a somewhat similar. Angelina's impacted us in such a way that it's similar in a lot of ways. Maybe touched us for different reasons and different ways, and they're about different things, and we relate back in our lives, and we think about different things, and how is this something that can actually be happening? But then the bright light comes, the beacon of hope that Angelina is. Because she can do this, it makes me believe more in mankind now. We have the ability to be better. We have the ability to be more loving and more kind. And I haven't always been the most loving, kind person in the world, I can tell you that, But now I try to be. Now I try to be aware, I try to be conscious. I look for ways to try to be a better person. And the way I talk to people sometimes. Yeah, I'm a comedian, but I also have a sharp tongue, which most comedians have have an edge. And I'm not a comedian like a professional comedian, but I mean I'm a joker, and I don't take things all that serious for the most part. If somebody confronts me and they want to fight me, my first response would be to make some kind of a joke and try to diffuse the situation. That also sometimes escalates it, depending on the person. So it's a roll of the dice. But you know, you now I try to consider what I say a little bit more, and I try to put a positive spin on it. I try to be more thoughtful of the other person's position, what they may be going through. I don't know. What brought them to the point that they're at where they're confronting me about something. And I have a practice area is in my vehicle. When I get in my vehicle, man, it's the gloves come off and let's have at it, okay? The people, I can't believe who they give driver's licenses to nowadays. That's not very loving and kind, is it? But sometimes, you know, you see some of the strangest, unusual behavior out there sometimes in the driving. People they're in their car, so they got a weapon, so they're all, you know, they're road rage and all that. You see a lot of that kind of stuff. And sometimes I get a little, you know, it's just like, what are you doing? Pull that car over, get out of it and start walking. You know, you shouldn't be driving a car. And yeah, it's like I'm perfect, right? Yeah, right. So anyway, I'm going to quit talking now. I've made a long video out of a short video. My good friend James Steele says I have that skill down pretty well. I can take a 15-second video and turn it into a half-an-hour video, no problem. And that's what I just did. Sorry about that. Yeah, I get on these little rants. It's just because I don't have a script, I just talk, okay? And my dogs don't like it when I talk, but I do it anyway. They only like it when I'm talking to them. So let's get out of here for this one. Angelina, the other thing I wanted to point out, and I think everybody's gone now, so nobody's going to hear it, is how many artists do you know? She's obviously working things out on the piano, and probably the lyrics too. And I think she keeps reaching up here. I think she must have maybe the lyrics, probably the lyrics on the phone. Maybe it's the music for the piano. I don't know. Maybe it's both. Maybe she's got more than one phone up there. I don't know. But she keeps reaching up there I think to move the screen, right? And I've said this before, man. That's got to be a skill, because when I try to do stuff like that, just me on a small scale and going really slow, I lose my spot. Sometimes I hit a wrong thing and the screen disappears. You know, it's a whole different world for me. Okay, and you know, of course, she's doing this stuff all the time, so she's familiar with how the things work. But still, moving that screen and getting in the right spot and not going too far, and not going far enough, and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, it's extraordinary that she's able to even do that. But she's been doing it her whole life, pretty much. So she's always she's developed a skill early and has fine-tuned it to a craft, I think. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that one up, and also the little blurbs on the piano, stuff like that. I think most artists don't show themselves when there's little things going on. Now there's blooper reels out there for different things, but these aren't blooper reels. This is Angelina working things out in front of us, in front of the camera. And I don't know if some of you noticed this or not, but you can go back and watch. You can see reflections in these pictures back here. I think one of them it has to be Sara. Sara has a fairly recognizable profile. When she's standing, you can see like a side profile of her face, and it has to be Sara. And I think you can see other people in the background back there in these reflections on these pictures. If you're that much of a detective and you want to go back and look at it, maybe you already saw it. So that's it. I'm out of here. This is way long enough. I'll probably cut some of this stuff out. But hey, have a nice day, or a morning, or evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.